Shut up and sit down.
Hey, internet people or internet peeps or whatever you want to call yourselves. Welcome to another episode of the Corporate Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Corporate Gamer. This is episode 8, recorded on April 25th, 2017, video game music. Last week I didn't record any episode just because due to just timing issues and stuff like that, but I'm back this week. Maybe I actually didn't record last week because I was depressed due to the way the Montreal Canadiens actually played last week in the playoffs. They were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs officially on Saturday against the New York Rangers. Disappointed. I know that there's a lot of Habs fans out there that are up in arms and acting on emotion and want everybody fired, including the owner of the Montreal Canadiens. But whatever. It's another year. It's another season. Only one team can win the whole thing. Two teams meet in the final. I'll be honest. I think personally it would have been a hard series to go through. The New York Rangers series is a very hard series, hard hitting. And I think we even ran out of gas in the first round. So I could just imagine the subsequent rounds. And if ever we do end up going to the finals, it would have been a really, really hard task. So we're out of the playoffs, and till next year, I guess, at this point. Other than the Montreal Canadiens and the Habs, I've actually continued playing Darksiders, which is continuing to be fun. There's a few issues with the game, which I think I had the same complaints in Darksiders 2. Essentially, number one, the camera selection is horrible. They always invert the x-axis for whatever reason, and I always have to go and change it back, which is kind of annoying. Other than that, it's a very entertaining game. It's enjoyable. There's some parts that are pretty challenging. I'm at a boss battle right now, which apparently is one of the more difficult bosses in the game. And it's not easy. I've been trying to beat it for a few days now. And when I say a few days, like over an hour, over 2 days. I can't play full days of games anymore. I'm not at that age. But yeah, it's still really fun. I enjoy it, and I'm gonna try and finish it before, and I'm gonna get to it a little later. But before the games with gold for the next month, they seem pretty interesting, and we'll get to it a little bit later on. So while we're at it, let's jump into the news of the week. So first thing on the list is, which is really not surprising, there's a rumor. So this is only strict rumor. There hasn't been any official announcement yet that Nintendo is planning an SNES Mini, Super NES. Not surprising, considering that the classic Mini NES was very popular last year. I have my thoughts about if this is going to work or not. I think a lot of people remember the NES from when they were a kid, and it was a nostalgia thing. I think the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom has its fans, but I'm not sure if they're going to get as many people interested in it. I'm sure it's going to fly off the shelves. I'm pretty sure there's still going to be shortages. But, I'm not surprised that they're doing this. Kind of surprising considering I know there were rumors around saying that the reasons why they had stopped production of the NES Classic, they're all rumors at this point, so I'm not going to say what they were. Some of them said production issues, some of them said it was a money thing. I personally think that this made money for them. and they're gonna sell them, and it keeps Nintendo in the news. So even though they had shortages, they had a lot of people that were giving them negative feedback in terms of the availability and not being able to get the NES Classic. They still maintained their name in the papers, and then the Switch got released, and it sold very very well. So I think this is just another way of keeping Nintendo in headlines, and so far it hasn't been announced. If anything, it would be officially, I think it would be announced at maybe E3 this year, and if it would be released, it would be released before the holiday season. I'm assuming if this is a rumor, there is somewhere at Nintendo plans to do this, and maybe it's already in production. They just haven't told anybody yet. So, the Super NES Mini rumored to be coming out by Nintendo at one point in time. So that's that for that piece of news. Next, Battlefront 2 announcement. So there was a first trailer for Star Wars Battlefront 2, which actually looked really good. I had a chance of seeing it a few times. It seems to be, or according to the video, it seems to be right after Star Wars 6, Episode 6, I guess. From the original trilogy, it would be the third one. You see the Death Star exploding, and you see a glimpse of Luke Skywalker when he was younger, and so on. It looks really, really good. They, through some different outlets, they have advised that there will be a single-player campaign, and it's not just a shoe-in or a throw-in, where it's a really cheap campaign just to appease the critics and have multiplayer. Apparently, they've invested time in order to develop an actual storyline that's engaging, plus the multiplayer aspect. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have a link in the show notes for the Battlefront 2 trailer. It looks really good and even shows Darth Maul, which I think hasn't been used much, in the movie universe, they haven't really touched it that much other than Episode 1. But they, and I think it's something that they could exploit a lot better. So maybe this is the game that will actually do that. So, Star Wars Battlefront, sorry, I think I said Battlefield a few times. Battlefront 2 trailer has been released. You guys should go and check it out. Next one. This is for nostalgia guys or people that back in the day have played this game. StarCraft, the original StarCraft, is completely free and got its first patch in 8 years, which a bunch of upgrades. So there was a patch released, patch 1.18, that makes the game free and also made modifications. So what did they add? Added windowed full screen or windowed mode with just a hotkey with Alt Enter, UTF-8 support, cursor clamping in game while windowed, popular maps to streamline finding games and game types, added options to display actions per minute, added observer mode, added opponent information when joining a game lobby, added autosaving for replays, added UPnP support, updated to new OpenGL backend, which I think was needed, improved gameplay responsiveness during multiplayer by increasing turn rate to match LAN speeds over Battle.net, improved UI layout in Battle.net sections, improved behavior of available lobbies within the Join Game section, improved compatibility with Windows 7, 8.1, and 10, improved anti-cheat capabilities, improved installation and patching performance, Mac beta support available for 10.11 and up, fixed palette issues to correct rainbow water, 80s Kerrigan face in loading screen and other graphic glitches, fixed problems with land game discovery, fixed IME support and other text artifacts in Battle.net menus, and finally LAN and legacy Battle.net fixes. So they actually did put in quite a bit of improvements to make the game playable and modernize a little bit the game. This was a really, really fun game. I remember playing this back in the day. I remember playing with my brother and some of his buddies. We used to have LAN parties and so on, which was really, really cool. I did like StarCraft 2. It was good. But I always have a soft spot for StarCraft. Some people it's Diablo 2. For me, it's StarCraft. I always loved StarCraft for whatever reason. Back then, I really loved the graphics, and I actually it used to play really, really well on the PC I used to have. So I've played it a lot. So for those interested, it's free. I'm sure that a lot of people will be streaming this on Steam, especially those that haven't played this before. I hope there's actually going to be a following, because it's a really fun game, and it'd be nice for them to actually keep up have it maintain it for at least a period of time. So that'd be really cool. So StarCraft patch 1.18 released, and it is free for everyone to play. Next on the list, Xbox Games with Gold for the month of May. So Microsoft released the lineup for May, Games with Gold. If you don't know what that is, that's the free games that are available for download every month. There's 4 games in total usually. 2 are for Xbox One, 2 are for Xbox 360, but they're backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So the games that are being released are Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams, Director's Cut. I don't actually have experience with this game, but apparently it's very similar to Rayman Legends, which is right up my alley. I love Rayman Legends, so that's really cool. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which is the sequel to Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. So that looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if it was a good game or not. I never actually played it, but the fact that it's free, I have no reasons not to try it. And then after that, we have 2 Star Wars games available. Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, which I believe is the weaker of the 2 Unleashed games. I think Unleashed was the better one, but it's still pretty good. You can't argue with the price of free. And Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. That is actually a really addictive game. I remember buying it for the PS3. I had bought it for like $20, and it was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of those games where it's stupid fun, and there's comedy in there, and the way that the games are designed is really, really cool. So Games with Gold for the month of May, Star Wars packed with 2 Star Wars games and Lara Croft, and 1 game that resembles Rayman Legends. So I'll probably do a review at least on one of those pretty soon, once I get to play them. All right, so on to the new releases of the week. All right, so on Monday, April 24th, you have Static on PSVR. I have no clue what that is. Tuesday, April 25th, you have Batman Arkham VR for the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. It was already released for the PSVR. And a lot of people actually really liked that game. Then again, a lot of people didn't say it was a game. It was more of a, like, getting used to PSVR, I guess. But a lot of people liked it. They said it looked visually appealing, and from what I saw, it looked really good. Dragon Quest Heroes 2 for the PC and PS4. Outlast 2 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. A lot of people are playing this. Apparently it's very scary. Yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to that one. Outlast Trinity for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Puyo Puyo Tetris for the PS4 and the Switch. Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment for the PS4. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Siberia 3 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One as well. What Remains of Edith Finch for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. The Walking Dead: A New Frontier episode 4. Last month there was a free game. I'm not sure if it was A New Frontier, but there was a Walking Dead episode 2, I believe, was for free. So I'm not sure if you can still download. I think you still can. I think you have till the end of April in order to download it. So if you want it to have a taste of how it looks like, take a chance and download it on your Xbox One. And this one's going to be released for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, which is standard. For PS4 owners, you have Crossout and Death State. Those seem to be exclusives, or at least for this week. The Dear God, Dear DEER, for PS4, Vita with cross-buy. Eventide, Slavic Fable for PS4. The Legend of Dark Witch for Vita. Symphony of the Machine, PSVR. I'm still amazed at how many games are actually still getting released for PSVR. It's pretty cool that it's maintained. It was really quiet for a while, but it seems that it's keeping a steady amount of games getting released ever so often, every week or every 2 weeks, which it's encouraging. Valhalla Hills for the Definitive Edition for the PS4. Wilson's Heart for the Oculus Rift. Then on Wednesday, April 26th, you have Blaze Blue Central Fiction for the PC. Thursday, April 27th, you have Dawn of War 3 for the PC. Neo Geo Galaxy Fight Universal Warriors for the PS4. Prey demo for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Kamiko for the Switch. So there's actually a new game for the Switch, which is amazing. Use Your Words for the Wii U. Amazing games are still getting released for the Wii U, considering they're discontinuing them. You can't buy them anymore. Friday, April 28th, you have Little Nightmares for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch. A lot of people, I think, that have the Switch are going to probably buy. It probably has a little bit better graphics, and I think it has a few characters or modes in addition to the original Mario Kart 8. I think a lot of people are going to be buying that one for sure, and it's a good party game. I mean, you can't go wrong with Mario Kart. Even the worst of the Mario Kart games are still pretty good. So, yeah, so you have that going for the Switch. Constructor for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Period Cube Shackles of Amadeus for the Vita. And River Sea Melee Battle Royale Special for the PS4. So there's your roundup. I'm also going to give a link in the show notes for the games of the week, so you guys can look up what's available this week or not. So on to the next item, which is the talking point of the week, which is music important in video games, which is actually the name of the podcast, Video Game Music. Is music important in video games? And I think a short answer is yes. But I think for different, the reasons for it has evolved over time. I actually had a top 10 at one point on a roundtable called Top 10 Games with Best Music or Themes. And, just to name the games in order, you have Geometry Wars 2, which has an insanely addictive soundtrack. Pitfall or Pitfall 2 theme. Contra, Streets of Rage 2, Ninja Gaiden, Sonic the Hedgehog, Zelda, Deus Ex, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and Super Mario Brothers. If you notice on the whole list, the only one that's kind of more recent is Deus Ex. All the other ones are more retro type of games. And it's true. There's a lot of old games where I instantly remember what the theme song is. And I think everybody is kind of similar with those old games. If you put a Mario Brothers theme, they'll know it's Mario Brothers. Newer games don't have that. They have a higher production value, but they don't have that instant earworm, I guess, as much. But it doesn't mean that the music is not as good. And case in point is that my wife last year for Christmas bought me concert tickets to the 2016 Video Game Music Odyssey, which was playing at the Montreal concert halls in downtown Montreal, Place des Arts. And basically it was a 100-piece orchestra that was playing music from different games from publishers and developers from across Quebec, the province of Quebec. And it's really cool. So part of it was, part of the list of the concert was Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, Warner Brother Games' Batman Arkham Origins, Eidos Montreal Thief, and they also had Deus Ex Human Revolution. BioWare had Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect 3. Bishop Games had Lightfall. Thunder Lotus Games had Jotun, I think that's what it's called. Clever Plays had Leap of Faith, and there was a bunch of other ones. But the main ones was Deus Ex Human Revolution and Assassin's Creed. It was really impressive to actually hear the concert with all these orchestra, and I was front row seat, which maybe in retrospect was not great because I didn't get a good glance at the whole band. I only saw like what was in front of me, and I had a lot of speakers. But the sound was so amazing, and the fact that the music itself was really captivating, and it showed me that, music is really important in games because it gives ambiance, it gives, it gives you a clue what the next situation is, right? So you walk into a room and the music changes and you're kind of like, oh, something's going to happen. It's not like it used to be with platformers where you hear, you hear a theme song for every stage and it's a looping thing, and the music wasn't very evolved because they didn't have a lot of, technology available to them in space to put in all that music. It kind of started getting in the 16-bit era. That's when it started being a little bit more complicated and evolved. Prior to that, it was just simple tunes. But you can't deny that out of my top 10, I have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is a universal theme song that everybody knows. Super Mario Brothers, you can name any one of them. 1, 2, 3, you name them, that stuck in your head for a while. Zelda, standard. There's even a concert for the whole soundtrack of Zelda. They go from town to town. They come to Montreal ever so often. I think it's once a year. Sonic the Hedgehog is another one. Streets of Rage 2, come on. How can you not love that theme song? It's so catchy. It's amazing. Contra. You pick any stage. The song is the music is awesome. The composers of all these are really, really cool. Pitfall 2, which is one of the first games to actually have a theme song in it. It's very basic, but it's super catchy, and you always remember forever. And more recently, we had Geometry Wars, which, again, that's another one that's insanely catchy. So a lot of those are retro. From the newer ones, actually, one that I played recently, and I really, really love the soundtrack, and I think I'm actually going to download it, is Doom, the Doom remake from 2016. I enjoy the music in them. It's hard rock metal in your face. It goes so well with the theme that I actually want to buy it because I'm interested in in actually you know I actually want to listen to it on my way to work. I actually have a lot of these themes lined up. Like I have a lot of remakes. So Vomitron does a bunch of remakes for Ninja Gaiden. They did a bunch. What's the other cover that's really good? Streets of Rage. I think it's Streets of Rage. No, not Streets of Rage. Contra. Yes, Contra and Ninja Gaiden. It's both the remakes are from them. A lot of people have remade Punch Out as well. Yeah. So in conclusion, I know I ran on a tangent, rambling for a few minutes. So in short, essentially, music is important in games. I don't think we remember games for the music anymore. I don't think it's one of those things that triggers a memory of a certain game. But especially, there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of production. Budgets have increased a lot. A lot of the background music, it's custom. And there's a lot of music that's being composed. There's actually composers that create just music for games. It just tells you how big or how far the gaming industry has come from a little guy in his basement creating Pitfall 2 with some music in the background to the industry that we have today and the big AAA games that we have today. I know that I'm a big fan, obviously, which you probably know. I'm a big fan of Deus Ex, but I find it's one of the best soundtracks out there. Listening to the classic version of it in front of me being played by 100 musicians is beyond amazing. I hope to go see the Zelda one at one point when they come into town. I haven't gotten the chance. Every time I try to buy tickets, it's always sold out right away, which is kind of expected. So yeah, that was my talking point, and let me know what you think. What games did you guys like the most? The themes or the songs in the games themselves. I remember there's certain, for me, there's a lot of the games, even prior to the NES, was when I used to play Pepper 2 on my ColecoVision, and to play Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong. That had an original theme that stuck with me forever. The sounds, I think, are imprinted in my brain. I'm trying to think of more recent games. Are there any recent games that I've actually stuck? There's Doom, Geometry Wars 2. I guess Assassin's Creed, but I don't notice it in Assassin's Creed. It's kind of there, and I just don't pay attention to it. It's not in your face or anything. The sports games don't really have anything. It's more like arena music, and it's usually like really crappy rock music that they pay royalties to. Yeah, so let me know. Let me know what you guys think. On that note, you can let me know at the coordinates below, which is on either Twitch. You can send me a message there through Twitch if you're on Twitch at Corporate Gamer 9. I have my Facebook page at Corporate Gamer. My Twitter is Corporate Gamer 9. My YouTube channel is just look up Corporate Gamer. All my reviews go on roundtable.ca. My review this week is Action Hank on Xbox One. I had gotten it for free last year and decided to make a review now. It's a fun little puzzle game. It's really it keeps you engaged, and it's a fun little game that you can play for 5-10 minutes, and there's not a lot of thinking involved. It's actually a good game where you can chat with, like I know on Twitch when I stream, it's a good game to chat with the audience and the fan and the people that go into the chat. It's really, really cool. It's a good game. I don't have to pay attention to the game. There's some games that it's harder to concentrate because it's harder to chat to people because you have to concentrate on the game. But this is not one of them. I gave it an 8.5 on 10. I think it's pretty strong. I got it for free. I downloaded it for free, but I think now it's $20 if you pay for it, which is, I mean, it's it's a good game. If you're in those types of games, it's really, really cool. So yeah, Action Hank on the Xbox One. So all right, guys, see you next. Talk to you next week, and that's it for me.